Hey there, Mike Larson, Allen Realtors. Thank you for joining me again on a Friday to talk real estate. Today we're going to talk about investment property, property that generates income. Rental property, call it what you want. It can come in a variety of shapes and forms. It can be residential. It could be a single-family home. It could be a duplex or a triplex or an apartment building. It could be a commercial space, maybe to a hair salon, or it could be just a piece of vacant land where people, store their campers or their RVs. So, any property that generates income qualifies as investment income, investment property. So, the key, of course, is to weigh the income on the property versus the expenses on the property. Expenses can be, and usually are in the form of the debt service on the property. It could be taxes and insurance. It could be property management, if somebody manages the property for you. It could be repairs or vacancy or seasonal expenses. A variety of things could fall under that expense category that you also need to be aware of. The real key, of course, is to have more income than expenses. And the adage, let your tenants pay your mortgage, really is true. The best investment property are those where the return on the investment or the net income, exceeds the expenses. And there's a term called the capitalization rate, which is important to understand, and it is the net income divided by the cost of the property. And when you're starting to look at properties, this is a real important concept to understand. So we're going to break it down really, really simply. Let's say you got a duplex that commands $1,500 per side, so $3,000 a month times 12, that's $36,000. Okay. Let's say on the expense side, we're just going to make it simple. You get $4,000 in taxes and $2,000 in insurance. So you get $6,000 in expenses, $36,000 on income, $6,000 on expenses, a net income of $30,000. Okay. Let's say you could buy the property for $300,000. Okay. 30,000 divided by 300,000 is 0.1 or 10%. That's a 10% cap rate, which is crazy good. I mean, I'd buy that property today if I could. So, understanding the capitalization rate, that's kind of the return on your investment rate as well. That's important to understand. So, this is a real important discussion that probably takes longer than 3 or 4 minutes. And so, if you have questions, you can call me. There are other things that factor into this, like, do you really want to be a landlord? Do you want to get those calls in the middle of the night? Do you want to maintain trust accounts and know the landlord-tenant laws and handle deposits and move-outs and move-ins and evictions and all the things that go with being a landlord? And if you do and, want to take that on, that's great. If you don't, there are property management companies. My company manages property, so that's an option as well. But lots of good stuff to consider when it comes to investment property. I would welcome the opportunity to have that discussion with you if you're interested in taking this to the next step. And beyond that, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Okay, take care.